All right. First time in a while. I figured there was a good chance this was going to end up filling up the memory on my phone if I recorded to the phone and then uploaded it later, so I'm just going to stream it live to YouTube. Hi, this is what happens when an IT guy decides to work on his car. The car in question, that's my 2012 Honda Fit. I'm at least the second owner. This thing has a few billion miles on it. It's got 194,000 miles on it, most of it from the previous owner. I have known that the previous owner probably had a small farm somewhere south of Atlanta and used this as his truck because the inside of the thing was just completely scratched up, probably had a few big dogs. This thing was worked hard and put away wet. And by wet, I mean there is mud packed up underneath the undercarriage in places you didn't even know it had. It's amazing. Anyhow, I'm in the process of removing the radio because I just had to replace the battery yesterday morning. And when that happens, the radio wants its security code. I have the security code, but half the face buttons on the radio don't work. They never have worked well. They finally have completely died to the point where I can't enter the radio code to restore the radio to service. So I'm pulling the radio out. Well, lo and behold, you can actually replace it anywhere between $100 and $400. You can replace the entire head unit with something Android-based and actually get CarPlay and a bunch of modern features. So I may actually do that. Anyhow, this is the situation I'm in right now. Got the head unit out. I don't know if you can see. There's like dead bugs in here, specks of mud. I don't know what all. This guy probably had this thing parked in a barn. But here's why I'm live streaming. Can I switch cameras in real time? Oh, yes, it will let me switch to cameras. Cool. All right. So here's why I'm streaming this. So I finally got the head unit out. I've worked with a lot of audio devices in my lifetime, and I know CD players shouldn't make that noise. So I'm really hoping that what I'm about to find is a shattered CD and not 4 pounds of acorns, which, I mean, neither one is out of the question, quite frankly, based on what I've experienced with this vehicle. All that said, I am totally not bad-mouthing the Fit, not by any means. What it survived in its former life must have been just beyond belief. So yeah, I'm zoomed out as far as I can reasonably can here. I'm going to attempt to place my phone in a relatively safe location here above the garage floor. And I was going to take this into the kitchen table and work on it, but given the amount of detritus, no, I'm going to work on it right here in the garage. So here we go. I'm going to start by removing the 4 screws on the outside corner here. I'm going under the assumption that this will release the main part of the head unit from the front panel. My goal is to get to the buttons so that I may be able to get some isopropyl alcohol. I've got 91% isopropyl. I'm going to use some swabs. I don't know, may just use the entire spray bottle and just spray it in there. Just flush this thing with the IPA and let it dry for a few days. I don't know. So first things first, fortunately, these screws all look to be about the same size. Yeah, quick shout out to engineers out there. Why in the world do you have to use 17 different screw sizes? All right. So those are the visible screws. And this appears that would lift up. I would check YouTube for a video on it, but I'm streaming right now. Now I have to run in the house and get a second device to take a quick look. All right. apparently that has not quite been enough to release it. All right, so there are more screws down the side, which in theory would release the center bit, and then there are 2 bolts down here. 2 bolts here that would further release. So let's see, going under the assumption that these may just be adhered due to years of junk, let me see if this pries loose at all. Okay, that bracket is clear. That is clear. However, it seems they're still locked in position, and that this entire thing needs to slide in some direction to actually release. Yeah, just not feeling it. Unless it also unsnaps. Yeah, looks like there may be some snaps on the side. Oh my goodness, that sound. I just can't even. Well, appears this may actually be prying away a little at a time. I left nothing, I'm leaving scratches, but nothing bent yet, so. All right. Well, I do see 3 more small screws here. I don't know. One here, one here, one here. So let's go ahead and grab a number 1 Phillips and get those guys out. That's posi 1, that's posi 2, Phillips 1. Let's see what we have. Teeny tiny ones. So far we're all metal to metal, so that's encouraging. Ooh, nope. That one was not metal to metal. This was, it's plastic. Yeah. Nice long threads on that. Feels plastic to plastic. Ooh, there we go. All right. Oh my goodness. That's, wow. Yikes. Yeah, this is the radio out of the fit. I just noticed somebody asked the question in chat. Yeah, this is the radio, or this is the CD player part. Although the way the system's designed, wow. We've got dead bugs just like packed in here. We have pieces of plastic. Ugh, my goodness. What in the world was done with this? All right, So I'm going to get out the shop vac, give this a quick, yikes, quick cleaning. Okay, this explains some of our CD player. There's a penny. Here we have a 5 cent. This has a pineapple on this. Is this Canadian? What is that? It looks like a Canadian. All right, so I've got 7 cents so far. Somebody's kid probably put a fistful of change in there. Oh my God. Yay, we hit the jackpot. All right. This says no cash value. This is a token. This is an arcade token for a, I'll have to clean that up, see what arcade that's from. Oh my goodness. There's a little classic vehicle of some sort on it. Yeah, all right, well, that explains why the CD player, even if the buttons were working. Oh, there's another penny, all right. Another one, come on, you can do it. Spit it out, drop it, drop it, drop it. Let's see, a piece of plastic. Yeah, that doesn't bode well for the guts of the thing. Oh, that token was for... I just won the Georgia lottery. Please play responsibly. Somebody didn't play responsibly and fed it into the... Wow. All right, so far I'm up, let's see, a lottery token, a token for a car wash, which if you saw this car, you would notice was never actually spent on a car wash. So a free car wash, a Georgia lottery token, looks like a Canadian nickel, I guess. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm up 14 cents so far. 14 cents in a car wash. And several hundred dead bugs. 2 more pennies. Wow. Somebody's kid got in so much trouble. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna find a lot more money buried up in there. And another. Hang on. That was a big token. Hang on. I don't want that one. Where'd that go? Oh, it's another nickel. Oh my God. That one's American. All right. No more rattling. I have a feeling that has not fixed all of our... Whoop. Hang on. Just knocked some more parts loose. Here's my concern. This, quote, CD player is the entire accessory head unit with all of the cabling terminating in it. So I think brains of radio and everything live in this. So it's not like I can just yeet the old CD player and go back to using the radio and everything. Because I'm fairly certain that the actual radio amplifier circuitry is this stuff down here. And the problems of why I can't enter codes is because the buttons on the other side of this panel, like the number 1, actually don't work. Actually, half the buttons on this panel don't work. But I'm now wondering, if I go ahead and vacuum this all out, pull the there are numbered screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a zero insertion force adapter. That is for the display. The display actually works. The digital display still works. It's the buttons and the circuit board. Again, probably for what it would cost me to find a replacement for that circuit board, it would be cheaper just to do an entire Android AirPlay compatible, AirPlay capable replacement. So I'm just a little concerned if I continue tearing this down to get all the rattly bits out, that I may end up breaching something that breaks the radio. So I'm gonna remove 2 more screws. I don't want to mess up this connector up front because that's where it mates with the front unit. But I want to make sure I got all the rattly bits out. I don't want to leave any stray pieces of metal around where they're likely to short anything. So what I'm going to do is take these 2 off, see if that raises this panel up, and I'm just going to get the last few bits of whatever's rattling around in there. All right. Number 1 Phillips for these last 2 guys. Oop, you are shorter than the other ones. You stay separate. All right, now, in theory, all right, we have 2 clips on this side, but we have 2 more screws over here. Come on out of there. There we go. And 1 more. Ooh, that's some tight clearance. I'm gonna have to pull the I have to release you from the main unit, maybe. To raise that up just enough to get that last screw. There we are. That's number 2. Let's go number 1. Come on, don't strip it. There we go. All right, second reason I'm doing this video is great reference later for when I want to figure out how to put this all back together. All right. Let's see if this gets us free. There we go. All right. Moment of truth, terror, as the case may be. Right up to the, do I really want to see what's in here? Yes, yes I do. And the screws on the front. Doesn't look like it. And there we go. All right. This is starting to be a little bit more recognizable as a actual CD player, but oh my goodness, how did you get this much junk inside of it? Okay, this thing must have been just parked in a shed for a very long time, but yeah, if it would be great to not have pieces of metal bouncing around with this power circuitry back here. So let's see if we got anything else hiding in there. Another penny. Another penny. Good grief. Oddly enough, there's no, I don't see a CD wedged in there. Is that a drive belt? Or a spaghetti noodle? I don't know if that's a component or something else wedged up in there that is not supposed to be in there. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna say probably not supposed to be in there. Because the drive spindle is underneath. Yeah. Whatever that is, it's not supposed to be in there. What kind of a miracle it would be if the CD player actually worked after this measure of abuse. All right, you're gonna need pliers or tweezers in there. Let's see, do I have anything that lightweight out here? Pliers, but I do have a much thinner screwdriver here. Let's go here. I mean, it looks like a straw from a juice box. If I had to put money on it. Just thought if this does end up fixing the CD player, I hope it just doesn't end up in some infinite, hey, I think I'm loading a disc, grindy loop noise or anything like that. This vehicle has enough little weird noises and smells as it is. I have to actually get a pair of tweezers. I'll go all chopstick mode here. Is that not as flexible as I think it is? It's a juice box straw. Come on. Somebody was thirsty. And thought, can I put it in there with my Dawa CD? No, you may not. Is there enough of a gap to feed that all the way down out the front? Doesn't look like it. Looks like whatever latch was intended to be in place to prevent what has happened is snapped shut behind it. There we go. Got my juice box straw. All right, Ollie. Okay, now it sounds like there's a CD stuck in it. But I know that ain't right. Maybe what we're just hearing is the entire feed. All right. Well, I'm relatively confident we have removed all of the metallic issues. So next, let's grab the shop vac. Let's move our screws out of the way. Vacuum up the floor. Vacuum up this. Amazing. Oh, there's no telling how much electrical weirdness that was causing. I'll be right back. Shop vac, put it all back together, see if anything explodes. All right. Now it's a little dangerous to be running a vacuum with all these screws sitting around. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Actually, I'm not gonna use the shop vac. It doesn't have brush attachment, and I'm going to want a brush attachment. So let's go ahead and relocate the screws out of frame. Those 4. 2 small ones for the back of the lid. 4 small ones for the top lid. That one and that one. Okay. All the screws are out of the way. Everything else is broken shrapnel. Ugh. Yeah, that can't be good. And the straw. All right. Next up, this is the part that's the problem, because these buttons don't work. And I need to use, you know, like my radio code's like 31436 or something like that. It's like typing all over the place. And the 1 doesn't work at all, and the 3 barely works. And none of the other buttons really work. I have not been able to set the clock. So I'm just assuming vacuum this, unlatch the board, lift the board out, and go scrub it off with isopropyl alcohol. And we'll see what we get. Man. Yeah, I think this vehicle spent a lot of time parked in someone's barn. Yeah, not pretty. All right. Grab the proper vacuum. Okay. The following racket brought to you by the Shark Liftaway. One of the 37 different types of models of Shark vacuum cleaner. They can't actually add features. After all, it's just a vacuum. So they keep making them in different colors and different shapes. All right, here goes. right, one final vigorous shake. All right, I think the other sounds I was hearing was, whoop, I heard that. All right. It appears from here, just 2 more screws to get the front removed. So let's give that a try. These will be the first 2 screws we put right back. These look curiously easy to lose. All right. Much of this is still attached. I see 1 screw coming down from somewhere. Oh boy, that's... Well, let's try a little gentle persuasion there. There, nope, not budging. Probably something still. Well, there's a reason you won't find too many videos online about this phase of the operation. Because I think most people, once they get to this part, go, you know, let's check on Amazon replacement. And just replace the whole thing. All right. Well, it's time to break out the bring up some knee padding here. Now let's see. Oh, hold on. These are looking suspiciously like little clips of some sort. So that would mean pushing down on that. Getting good squeaking. Oh, complete air gap there. So that's not it. Hang on. Ooh, careful. Now you're facing right up into the, that's right up into the motherboard and the circuitry of the thing. Yeah, see this want to take this front plate off, but it wraps around and there's a screw that goes through it. Wait. Aha! This is why we have a 4-inch long #1 Phillips. So I just have a question for the engineers. I mean, thank you for providing access, but why? Oh, nuts. I really want that screw. Yeah. And that's why we leave our tools magnetized, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So we've removed 2 additional screws, and now we have what looks like clips. Are you ready to actually come out? Or lift off? Oh, it's making such a nice, loose, clicky sound. Would you believe no, that's not connected to the same thing. Okay, so now do we push down here? Up slightly. There we go. That sounded definitive. Clip there. Clip there. Many metal clips. Ooh, was not expecting that, but that may be just as beneficial. Unexpected bonus. You may be able to rotate up the entire CD player. All right. Was not expecting that, but I think that's going to be the way to go. And of course, guess what? If you guessed 2 more #1 Phillips head screws down a nearly inaccessible hole, you were correct. Okay, so I'm now starting to bet that just these 4 Phillips head screws here, 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 and here would have lifted the entire CD unit out. Now, the real question is, what wiring is sitting underneath this? Oh, none whatsoever. However, look, our final penny. We say final. Screw the hell the CD drive in. Wow. Yeah, let's go ahead and vacuum that out too. All right, so here we have the CD drive. I don't think I'm going to put it back in. It's finally free of all its loose change. Yeah. How... I'm just baffled. How so many insects could have gotten up inside this thing. All right. Well, if any of them died liquefying, that can't be good, so... Powerful vacuums around electronics, but I think static is the least of this thing's worries.
Who were you speaking?
The audience on YouTube.
Ah. Is the rest of this for me?
No, I was hoping to split that. Yeah, say hi to Angela. Angela Stewart was tuned in a little while ago. All right, so we finally got all the got the CD drive out. Found one final straw. The one final stray coin. All right. So Honda does a good job of hiding the brand of who actually built their CD drive, but there it is. Part numbers on here, Delta Papa 32, Delta Papa 33 Uniform H3 Golf. Second line has Echo Golf 02. And the final line on this one was 00378-684. That's the contents of that sticker. So, all the rest of this looks okay. I'm really hoping that this is just CD drive. That's otherwise not needed. All right. So I'm going to set the protective plastic bits in here. There are 4 screws I will not be putting back in because those were just holding this destroyed CD drive in place. There's only one connector that this mates with right here. So I'm hoping it just boots up and says, hey, CD player error, and just ignores it, and I can go on with my life. All right, next up, this circuit board. I'm assuming this circuit board is in pretty rough shape. And it looks like all we need are the one ZIF connector and 4 screws. If it's any more than that, it's time to go shopping. Okay, it might be these 2 standoffs might be holding something. I'm not going to remove the screen. All the other components, there's a head unit that actually has this bottom template already, and you have to transplant these over. Also, this contains the hazard light toggle and the passenger airbag warning light. Well, if you drive without this warning light, you just get an airbag warning, and I'm assuming that's probably beeping or annoying. I also assume I'm not going to end up fixing this tonight. Well, nah, let's press on. Let's press on. All right. I love to meet the people that designed these ZIF connectors. Brilliant piece of engineering. As long as you remember that they're there, just don't go yanking this ribbon out. Pull over those little bits. There you go. Now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are numbered. So I'm going to put them down in order. 1, just in case we have 4 different sizes of screws. 2, well, they don't look like it. Murphy's Law. 3, 4. All right. I was kind of afraid of that. All right. There are some small tabs at the side. There. Alright, so I'm going to pull that back. See if the board lifts out. Okay, that was an encouraging click. We have another one here. That's number 2. This is where I probably should have gotten my computer repair kit. Okay, this looks, that's just a pin. This is another clip here. This is another clip here. Whoop, whoop, hold on. Oh, I don't know if that's holding. Yep. Clip here. Clip here. I really hope none of these screws are required. And this is probably gonna be pay dirt because it's suddenly getting very difficult and awkward. Clip. 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 Now it appears this knob may be the final bit that's preventing everything from moving. So I don't know that this lifts off or if everything here pushes through. All right. I think it's time for the other toolkit. All right. Next part of this operation is brought to you by the good folks at iFixit. Highly recommend their toolbox. It's got a low battery warning here. So breaking out my portable battery pack. There we go. Here's hoping it's actually charging. Okay, next. It's time for the guitar picks. Yes, this is a thing. Don't laugh, they're very handy for when you run out of fingers or fingernails. When you're unclipping a bunch of things, you need something to hold the fact that progress has been made. Wedge it behind the clip and keep things unclipped. And let's go spudger. I think we can go gloves off here. Go. You stay right there. You stay unclipped there. Alright, so that brings us down to, it looks like a clip here, here, and aha. Apparently there was another hidden clip under there. All right. Ooh. That looks cooler than I was expecting. And how do we end up with two smashed dead bugs behind the... Wow. Just wow. All right. And an incredible amount of crap. All right. So we're gonna vacuum. I'm assuming the problem's on this board. I'm just gonna go ahead and vacuum it off. And then, yeah, they see these? I mean, ooh. I think this guy must have driven this Honda Fit off-road several hundred miles and that has hit it in a barn for years. How do you get... Wow. So here's the tricky part. These are very soft touch buttons. There's a click, but they're relatively well sealed against incursion. And I don't think I can just pop that off and clean underneath it very easily. So that may need like a flush out. First, our vacuum. Then we break out the isopropyl. And I'm afraid to vacuum this because I have a feeling there's a bunch of loose parts in here that will just disappear into the vacuum, never to be seen again. But there's a lot of dead bugs in there I need to pull out. See, these buttons are supposed to be, I mean, the action seems to be working. It's pushing these in, but most of what's on there just isn't responding to the button pushes anymore. So yeah, I bet you this is the majority of my problem right here. That all seems well attached. What's not entirely clear is how this circuit works based on the printing on the back. I mean, the button, these dots don't represent where the buttons are. And this looks like it's got some basic indications of what the button should be doing. Which means in theory, if I can hit the metal contacts, I can at least test the buttons before and after. Ooh, yeah, continuity test before and after. That might be a good idea. First, let's get rid of the crawlies. I mean, good grief. Actually down to the component level farther than I was expecting. Okay, so the way these work, for example, the number 1 here, when pushed, it's here, but there's some, like an LED up here. Let's see, are these all gonna fall out if I flip it over? Are you guys snapped in? Most of you snapped in. All right, that's the number 1. That's the power button here. And then apparently we got 2 LEDs here and here that flow through all this plastic to light the buttons up. Then we got another LED here, another one here and here. So that lights the panel up. So this board has a few light emitting diodes and a whole bunch of, hopefully, just simple switches. So I'm going to grab my continuity tester. Another part I didn't think I needed this evening. right. All right, we have here our foam swabs, a bottle of, ooh, that's 70% isopropyl. Oh, I'd really prefer 90. Hang on, I've got 91 in the house elsewhere. First things first, though. Let's do a continuity test. All right, let me just pick one of the buttons I think does work right now. All right, well. So this is a what would this be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 going across. Got a cluster of 4 in the middle. All right, so this would be the number 2, which I think works. I have the button depressed to get a signal. All right. Button 3. That works. Button 1. Nothing. Power button. So right now, number 1 is the button button. Confirmed. Now, it's also the dirtiest looking number on the board. So, I'm going to hope that by flooding it, I'm going to start with 70% IPA and distilled water. And I do mean flood. I'm just literally just going to rinse. And I might scrub along the surface here. See if we can't get some of that off. And then some underneath. Ooh. If you're wondering what this smells like right now, think, hospital or doctor's office when they swabbed your arm right before you stick you with a needle. Yeah, like that. Or very weak smelling salts. All right, so that's looking substantially better. Now, next, let's go paper towel, blot out the extra, and then I'm going to get 91% isopropyl. you, sir. Blot, 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 blot. Let's go 91%, which is going to evaporate much better.
British polar explorer, his ship sank, but he managed to get every single man of his crew home alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. 91%. 100% would be best, but they don't sell that at CVS very often, if at all, ever. So we're going to go with a healthy dose of 91%, because the less water we have in there, the better. Doggone it, I just remembered what I forgot. So yeah, we're just going to flood these. Operate the buttons. Make it nice and squishy inside. See if that further gets rid of any of the junk that's adhered to this board. So mainly just focusing on these 4 left side buttons because I know I had a variety of functioning and non-functioning. And the final thing I forgot to bring out, my can of compressed air, which will dry that much more sufficiently. Okay, well, that's a negative on the compressed air. At least not stored where I thought I had it. So I must have depleted it. Did not buy extra. Oh well. Well, what you can see though, the 91's actually dry already. It's a 71 that's the problem. No, 75 is the problem rather. Right, so one very disinfected spot of my garage floor. Alrighty. Well, let's just blot that dry the best we can. Trash, 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 trash. No, I'm not gonna put it in a bag of rice. It's an urban legend. It's not a thing. I mean, it's a thing. It's not a particularly reliable thing. All right, so in theory, if this moved any crud around under that button, I may actually get continuity on the number 1. Oh my goodness. Worked. Hold the power button. Good. This one. Which one is that? It's a FMA. Oh, these are like the feature selectors. Yeah, none of the feature selector buttons work. All right. So we're going to continue down our way using a generous helping of 91% IPA. Like soaking some up, dabbing the top of the button. Working around in there really well. Same with you. Dab, dab, dab. Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. Yeah, we're just gonna go for it. If I had 100%, this is what I'd do anyway. Just literally plug the entire board, smash all the buttons around it, and then use another dose of it to rinse it, and then hit it with compressed air to blast all the remaining IPA out of it. I mean, 91% isn't perfect, but it's pretty dang close. All right, now, I'm gonna be honest, never had much of a problem with the power button, but we're gonna see what we can do here. You can literally see the marks on these buttons where there's wear and tear over the years. Alrighty. That smells lovely. Let's back up a bit. And let's blot dry. No. Let's wipe a bit here, because wow, we got some nastiness washing off of there. Hear the sounds of a lot of bacteria dying. All right. This is the part where I get out my shop vac and reverse it, because it kind of has leaf blower mode. We're just gonna blow that dude dry. Jay. Okay, here goes. Yeah, I better hang on to this thing. All right. Well, surface is bone dry. Now here's the real test. Okay. There. All right. Now you had a lot of trouble earlier. The contacts actually top and bottom. Yeah, they are. Nothing on that one. Nothing on that one. Well, not total continuity, but there is some circuit flow. Okay. We are getting a reading. definite improvement on a lot of the buttons. Previously I was getting nothing. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Contacts are side to side on that one. Oh, dang it. Got some piece of rubber on here that is definitely not, not IPA safe. Dang it, I didn't think of that. Crud muffins. Got a piece of rubber on here that when it's hit by the rubbing alcohol just turned to complete mush. Yikes. Hope you're not load bearing. Right. Top center button is actually contacts are right and left. Ooh, okay. This one's top and bottom. Not full continuity, but hey, looking a lot better. This one, still nothing down here. All right, well, tell you what we're gonna do. Stream you with the 70%. Make sure you get good and worked in. Now let's do a tactical glug. So I'm saturated in the 91. Right on top of the button. And a quick blow dry. Every button is going to need that kind of just focused, going all in attention. No, did not get this one totally woken back up. So, which is, let's see, what button is that? That's just the play button. That's all. It's just the button that makes everything, you know, go. This is kind of more in the, I'm assuming the contacts are right, left, that the contact points are actually good. I'm getting basically no flow across this switch. So the question is, well, I don't need it to reactivate the radio. What I need to reactivate the radio is those. So, looks like the one may actually work. Two's a little dodgy, but functional. 3. top center control. This is pause, I think. And before. Say again. Got a little beep. Alright. 6. Okay, so this is the problem child here. No. Right, the other button I want to work, because I actually use the auxiliary connection, is the auxiliary button. Which appears to be this one. We're good. Now, will I be able to set the clock? That would actually be all the number keys, but to do clock set, I need the FM AM selector to work, which is this guy. Little fiddlesticks. Looks like that one might be dead. Now, there's another small possibility here. I'm not electronically smart enough to know anything except that these are LEDs. And there are other diodes, DEDs, dark emitting diodes. Yes, they're dead. And if any of the diodes are wonky, it could be affecting the way the buttons work if the buttons are actually routed through those. But that'd be kind of weird. And at first glance, I don't see any of the diodes that look like they've let the magic smoke out. So, all right. Well, I've had about as much fun with this as I can take. So, I'm gonna presume I've done as much damage as I can, and it's time to reassemble and at least plug it in enough to get electricity to it and see if I can unlock the radio enough to be usable. So that leaves us the last cleanup bit. See, I'm a little concerned. All right, so all the buttons look like they're in place. Nothing's jammed. And they're pushing down like they're supposed to. Anything gonna fall out of here? Other than a few pieces of bugs, all right. So I think we're safe to vacuum that little bit. Let's see, I want to use a shop vac for that? No, I think we're done. We're done with the shop vac. Thank you very much. Last few bugs out of this. Okay, we are ready, hopefully, to remember where all the screws came out from. All right, I removed nothing from here. We do have our protective cap for the I really don't remember which way that went in. Oh, well, that sounded encouraging. I believe that goes on there, and then this snaps on from the outside. Goes on one particular position. That way. All right. We have all of our snaps back in. Now we need our very 4 small Phillips ones, which got very nervous when I ran to the blower here earlier. In fact, one of them took flight. So bear with me a moment. Number 1. Oops. Doggone it. The zip cable. Wrong side of the motherboard. You pop out. There we go. While I have you here, how about you go right back in your little slot. Click and click. That has been the cleanest part of the entire operation, is that cable right there. I'm just baffled about how incredibly filthy this entire vehicle has been. places where you should not have been able to get dirt, let alone bugs. I mean, good night. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this thing was abandoned for a time. Right. We have one more screw. Which has gone missing because when I turned on the blower the first time, see, all these screws he voided. But had a few here, one of them behind a penny. Excuse me while I poke about here. Well, I have a feeling I know where it went. And that would be right off the back of that shelf into oblivion. Which kind of sucks. Let's see. Are any of the other screws that I'm about to not put back because I pulled them out of the DVD player that I'm not putting back? Any of those match? That may actually be the case. So we're going to press on and hope for the best. Do we need this lid? For RF protection, if nothing else. Carefully. Can we do that again with talent? And actually hit the original slots that it came out of. Answer seems to be yes. Yes, we can. All right. So still have one screw here. Let me get all the rest of this from this guy back in place. Tune it back. To the hold the side thing. Oh, hey. I think we may end up with ones I don't need. Let's first put this lid on here. This is definitely overkill. There are just far too many, far more screws here than you would envision ever needing. Nope. Two there. And then we had two on the side here. See, my future plan is to, now that I've seen how easy it is to remove this radio, is just go ahead and replace this entire head unit. All my goal was tonight was to get the number buttons working well enough so I can re-enter the code, unlock the radio, and actually still be able to, play my podcasts. Because the USB feature of this, I plug it into the lightning cable on my iPhone 11, or my wife's iPhone SE, and it does, docking adapter with audio output, and the radio just charges the phone and plays out the docking adapter. And we never really listen to the radio anymore. And in this car, haven't been able to. Also haven't been able to set the clock. All right. Now, all those faceplate screws, all two of them. Now, these look remarkably similar. Oh, hang on. I'd actually feel better having that back in place. And I have one that binds the entire unit to the faceplate. Oh, no. Maybe you are screw number 4 for this. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that was right. All right. Got 2 more for the faceplate, which will keep this from rattling around, but we do need this nice and flat because this thing mates with the connector on the front panel, so we want no flexy shenanigans. And those 4 that were in the weird position, that was just to get the CD player, and that's not going back in. As I'm taking one last look at it and hoping that there's not something electrically special that would make me regret not putting it back. All right. Well, I'm down to 4 screws. Those are the ones that held this to the front panel. So here goes. And this nice big CD slot that's gonna no longer do anything except be I actually have a mount for my phone. It goes right in there. Did I remove that? I don't remember removing that. Is that just a missing screw? All right. This needs to line up pretty good because that big old chunky plug lines up right there. Ah, that bonus screw, now it goes in. All right. Yeah, I now know where I took that other one from. Well, let's get the 4 obvious. Phillips 2. There. And there. And there. Well, if nothing else, I feel less squeamish about reinstalling this now. Okay, the remaining screws, 4 of them to hold the DVD drive down into the tray, and 2 more that held it to the faceplate. Can I use one of these? This last remaining spot. What are the chances you're threaded the same? So nothing else feels like it should be grounding. Well, that seemed to tighten up. All right. We have one reassembled and who knows, maybe usable head unit. But that's the teardown video that nobody else had. I have not edited a bit. I suffered through all 2 hours of it with me. All right, next stop. Setting this thing back into this skank nasty console. But first, I think I'll run the vacuum cleaner up inside that boy. First things first. Let's get our light back in the car so we can see what we're doing. let's bring you along. This ought to be good. Welcome to the inside of the Thunderquack. Okay, so we've got like rust dust in here. And what the heck? And dead bugs? So yeah, I'm gonna grab the vacuum and see if we can't tend to that a little bit before we reassemble. So let's see, where can I plant y'all? Nice little phone cradle here, but I have nothing to lock the thing into. So I'll tell you what, y'all just stay put in the driver's seat for a second. Okay, here goes. We've got several plugs in here. Fortunately, they seem to have enough slack. You know, it's not hugely generous, mainly because we got this neat little loop to do that we're doing here on this one. Thank you very much. Get out here where I can get to. Oh, that sounded lovely. How that went snap as I was straightening that. That, and they're all cable tied right here to prevent rattling and so on. But the way this thing rattles, really, you think I'm going to worry about that? All right. So we have our hazard lights, backup light, our main. Where's our secondary chunky boy? Or was there secondary chunky boy? Nope. that was it right there, the white one. And then that's antenna. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There he is, the secondary chunky boy. 5, so we have a total of 5 plugs that only fit one way in the back of the head unit. Oh man, there's so much nastiness pitched up in there. I'm surprised any of these buttons work. Oh man. I tell you, this is... I basically figured out why this thing will never smell right again. I'm just not gonna lie. This is not the kind of vehicle that one drives to impress one's girl. But hey, we were in desperate need of wheels, and doggone it, these wheels turned. I think it cost us like $3,000, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, I don't think it was completely flooded. Maybe it was. Maybe that's what happened. But it still runs. I did have a mechanic say, "I hope you love your Fit, because the engines pretty much last forever if you take care of them." So that's what I'm betting on. Okay, let's put this thing's brains back in. And I really don't know where I can put y'all that you could see the action, so I have to just set you in driver's seat again. Let's see, sit tight. Here it goes. Okay. So, I fully expect this is the part that's going to try my patience. Getting these plugs back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's get eyeballs on all of them. Two longest ones. These are for the emergency hazard lights and the airbag detector. Head unit main. This is lowered in. Antenna. Well, they couldn't have gone too far. Feels like I should have 2 more plugs here. Oh. Heh. This just connects the two top and bottom unit together. Oh, okay. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're good. That goes there and there. Had no idea. Learn something new every day. Actually, this whole process has been kind of a new learning experience. All right. Get that out of the way. And I'm going to move the power cord for the light. Tilt the light slightly. Earlier when I was taking this out, I'd pretty much moved the mirror completely out of the way because I couldn't get my face in there. All right. So here goes. This one goes. These two go that direction. Let's see. Well, I mean, will I regret cutting this one cable tie just to give myself a little more breathing room? Maybe. On the plus side, once this is all up in there, it pretty much just snaps back in, and there's one bolt that goes right back in there. All right, here we go. Snappity. Snappity. Yep, it's a commitment now. Let's see. The antenna cable, which I gave myself more slack to work with earlier because I loosened its had a cable, not a cable tie. It was basically knotted around the other cables, so I just kind of untied it. All right, big chunky boy, you go in there and then lock that. Thin gray one, which doesn't even look like you've got a snap latch, but you technically do. You go in what feels like backwards, because why wouldn't it? Yeah, you should go under, not over Okay, thanks. Oh, get back here. You make a liar on me? My hole looks like you ought to go in upside down. Is that what we're doing? You know, the engineers could have just used Cat 5 everywhere, says the network guy. Alright, so you got two little tracks on the bottom. Yeah, you gotta line up exactly right, don't you? Note to self, cut the cable ties that are holding all this crap in. Wow. That's I'm glad I'm wearing gloves. There's a lot of sharp action going on right in the back of my hand right there. Probably prevented multiple stitches this evening. Can you see this? Can you talk me through this? All right, it's a square hole. There we go. Now this last one, unfortunately, has plenty of slack. I just can't see the hole that originally came out. There we go. Now, if I remember correctly, your push tab was to my left because you were wedged right up against that interconnect. I had to take the interconnect out to get you out. Ain't that right? Ladies and gentlemen, we have clickage. All right. So, three 1 4 2 3 is my radio code. Hopefully I've got the buttons fixed enough I can actually enter the radio code of 41. 3 1 4 2 3. Radio on. 3 1 All right, we have volume at least. Now, I can go to auxiliary. I can't go back to FM or CD or anything else. So that's kind of the status quo. Now let's go power off, power back on. Let's see. If the AM FM button worked, that one button worked, I could set the clock. But one button's dead for some reason. Let's just say eject didn't work. But at least now I have numbers, because this is hours, minutes, and reset for the clock. But yeah, USB no data, it's exactly what I want, because this USB cable, I plug in this phone charge cable and it charges the phone and I can play my podcast. So it's good enough, it's fixed enough. I literally can't switch between any other modes except I can get auxiliary. All right, so I managed to fix the number buttons enough to get the code in, and that's it. So good enough, as they say, for a government. All right, so snap this dude back in. That works. And the passenger airbag test light. Let me make sure here. Yep, passenger airbag light went good. And the power button, at least, for the stereo does work. Needless to say, the eject, not so much. All right. Here's the fun part. And it's reinstalled. God, that's scary. It snaps in like that. That's it. Alrighty. And we're done. Oh, well, I'm gonna vacuum that stuff. I do have one more bolt to put back in. That goes up into the nether regions there. While I grab the tool for that final task. So, yeah, this is the annoying bit. You have to have the heater AC, this vent selector. If you have it over in the closed position, you can't quite get up into where you need to. You have to open it, because you actually end up putting the screwdriver through the gap in that lever to hit the center of the radio. This bolt goes. I kid you not. There are other videos on YouTube far better focused. I'll show you exactly where that bolt is. But trust me, it's close quarters. And the screwdriver I've got here, the bolt driver I've got, is just barely long enough to reach it. So, I had the foresight to put said bolt right there. Now, if you drop said bolt, yeah, it's gone. So, the fun part's going to be hitting our launch hole into the bottom of the radio. I mean, in theory, it might be better for me to just hold the thing here and feed the bolt through there, but my fingers ain't scrawny enough. So I'm not gonna do that. Here goes. Hopefully if I drop the bolt, it's gonna come straight back down the hole. Mind the gap. At this point, you wonder, did it actually hit the spot? Most of the noise you're hearing is actually the screwdriver itself scraping the edges of the hole. And you're there. Hey! And the whole socket came out too. Okay. So, success. At least I'm going to retreat and declare success. So there we go. It's back in. It's working. Got the code entered. But, yeah, next step, I'm replacing this whole thing. And there are plenty of videos about how to do that. This was just how to rip this thing down to the component parts and do some remedial cleaning on these buttons to get them to work again. I just flooded them with 91% isopropyl alcohol and hope for the best. There's a pretty good chance that if I continued to do that several times, or did some surface mount soldering to remove the buttons and reflow them, maybe it would be better. But this head unit, this whole vehicle has been so terribly exposed to dust and dirt and what have you that it has dirt in places you didn't even know it had places. Not my to-do, but that's the situation there. So with all that, I'm calling this one done. Thanks for joining, if you did. I'm going to edit this, put in chapter markers of the 2 or 3 more interesting parts, and so you can skip ahead, because no one's going to sit here and watch 154 minutes total. Nah. Unless this is some kind of ASMR and you're dozing off to it, in which case, hey, you do you. That's it for now.